If you've got a guy that can play both ways and you don't tire him out too much and it can help your team, that's what you should do.
So Jopa and Dion have something in common. Big impact on both sides of the ball. Credit the Dion factor or blame the depth factor, but two-way play has made a mini comeback. Most often they're kind of bit players, novelty acts, but not in the case of Michigan super soft Charles Woodson. Double trouble for Michigan opponents.
You know, I'm just, an element of surprise. You know, they really don't know what's going on. You know, if I get the ball, and, you know, I just try to do something with it.
Charles Woodson has been doing it all this season. At wideout, he's scored 2 touchdowns and been a go-to guy. As a defensive back, he's intercepted 4 passes and broken up 10. Major impact on both sides of the ball.
One way or another, I'm gonna lose ya. I wanna trick you one way.
I think it's the time in college football with the limited scholarships that you have to try to get the best football players on the field whenever you can.
3 years ago, the NCAA reduced scholarships by 10 to 85. With less depth, some coaches responded by calling on guys to play both sides of the ball. One of the most natural pairings is for corners to double as receivers, like Woodson, like Chris Canty at Kansas State, like Sam Madison at Louisville.
We're a real young offense, and Sam's a spark. Sam's got great confidence. He's got a great attitude. And when you take his personality and you put it in the offensive hole, it seems to pick everybody up.
Every time I go in the game, everybody's, okay, 13's in the game, 13's in the game, and they're basically rolling all over to me, and I'll be a decoy.
While a guest appearance by a starting DB can throw defenses off, two-way players are playmakers in their own right. Witness Madison's 51-yard touchdown grab versus Michigan State. These are the players coaches love to coach.
You know, he's a football player. I told our receiver coaches an example of don't go over there and overcoach the post, or don't overcoach that, coach the out. He goes over there and just runs it natural.
Looking for the biggest, most athletic person, and Nate Wayne was the guy that plays middle linebacker for us, and he understands defenses. He understands playing linebacker, and we thought it'd be a good carryover because a fullback most of the time has to block linebackers, and he was just the natural choice for us.
If you've got a guy that can play both ways and you don't tire him out too much and it can help your team, that's what you should do.
When the Gators needed a middle linebacker this year, Spurrier tabbed his tailback, Terry Jackson, who came to Florida as a linebacker. Woodson was a tailback in high school who wanted to play cornerback. He got started on offense when the Wolverines lost Amani Toomer and Mercury Hayes to the NFL.
We started out with the idea that more than anything else, he would be a receiver in our 2-minute offense at the end of the half or at the end of the game. And from that, we've expanded it to now we'll play him, I think, ideally up to 20 snaps.
He's just a great athlete that you want to use him as much as you can, and you don't want to overwhelm him, but he's such a smart kid, whereas you can show him something one time, maybe twice, and he's going to pick it up. He's not going to need a maximum number of repetitions to be good at it.
Sometimes two-way play backfires. Witness Michigan at Purdue and nose tackle / part-time fullback William Carr's fumble.
You get him the football? Look at it. It gets knocked out. He's not used to carrying the ball.
At Ohio State, two-way play is all about Orlando Pace's bulk. Since his freshman year, Pace has played defensive lineman during goal line stands and in short yardage situations.
Offense, you gotta, I think you gotta think a lot more, and your assignments and the defense they're gonna be in. And defense is pretty much simple. You just gotta go attack the guy ahead of you and try to, make a play.
We spend very little time teaching him how to play. We just line him up and tell him, hey, whip that guy in front of you and get to the ball carrier and get there in a bad mood. And of course, he can do that.
Coaches try to simplify practice, having players spend most of their time at their original position. But like a two-way player, that can go in either direction.
Some days I don't even know where I'm at, and I'm just sitting in the middle of the field. I really don't. I got to wait for somebody to tell me where I'm going.
He's a great player. Yeah. Now, I know at Florida State, as a player, you like to go both ways, so to speak. And as a coach, weren't you one of the first to use the elephant back in the backfield?
Well, you're right. I use it as a gimmick. In fact, against Ohio State, my friend's team here, I put 2 fat offensive linemen, 300 pounds, right in the backfield, and I used them as lead blockers on short yardage. 3rd and 4th down every single time I made it. But I didn't do it as a habit for the reason is a skilled player without practice is not as good as a less skilled player with practice and experience. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. That Carr, that's a stupid call. Cost a championship.
I don't think it's a trend in college football right now, but you have to understand with 85 scholarships in today's college football, you can understand why these coaches are making a few changes the last few years and using players with talent on both sides of the ball. Deion Sanders has set a trend. From a player's perspective, that's something to shoot for. Charles Woodson, I'm sure his idol is a Deion Sanders. If a player can do it as a receiver and a defensive back, they're going to do it.
He's got so much talent. I think if you're Lloyd Carr, you'd use him on offense a little bit.
Maybe.
They don't have.
But I wouldn't give him the ball.
They don't have a
guy. Woodson, yeah.
Running a big fat guy running the ball.
No fat guys.
No fat guys.
No fat guys on Florida. 2 weeks away to Florida and Florida State as the showdown approaches. Both contenders trying to stay focused, stay healthy, stay unbeaten. It hasn't been easy.